Welcome back to Health Voices, the channel dedicated to helping you live with strength, vitality, and joy through every stage of life. We often talk about starting your day right, but today, we're going to talk about something potentially even more critical: how you end your day. With me, as always, is Dr. Morgan, our trusted expert in healthy aging and musculoskeletal health. Dr. Morgan, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure, Sarah. Today I want to talk about a thief.
A thief? That's a new way to start our conversation. What kind of thief are we talking about?
This thief is silent. It doesn't take your jewelry or your wallet. It sneaks into your home every single night while you are sound asleep, and it steals something far more precious. It steals your strength. It steals your independence. It steals your ability to lift your grandchildren, to work in your garden, to rise from your favorite armchair without a second thought. This thief is the unnoticed, gradual loss of muscle that happens overnight, every night, especially after the age of 60.
Wow, that's a powerful and, frankly, a very unsettling image because it's so relatable. I think many of our viewers and even my own older relatives have felt that. The jar of pickles that's suddenly harder to open, or that feeling of stiffness in the morning that seems a little worse each year. We often just dismiss it as getting older, but you're saying there's a specific process happening while we sleep?
That's precisely it. We blame the calendar. We blame our date of birth. But the real culprit is a biological process that we are unknowingly allowing to happen. It's a process of nightly theft, and the good news is we can absolutely post a guard. We can lock the door. We can stop this thief in its tracks. But first, we have to understand how it operates.
Okay, I'm hooked and a little alarmed. Please, Dr. Morgan, explain what is happening to our bodies on a biological level. What is this silent thief? And why does it target us specifically when we're sleeping?
Of course. To understand it, we need to think about the body's two primary states. The first is the state of building up, which we call anabolism. Think of it as the construction phase. This is when your body takes nutrients and builds tissue, like repairing and growing muscle. The second state is the opposite, a state of breaking down, which we call catabolism. This is the demolition phase, where the body breaks down its own tissues for energy. Throughout our lives, our bodies are in a constant, beautiful dance between these two states. When you're young, anabolism easily keeps pace. You eat, you exercise, you sleep, and your body builds. But as we cross the threshold of 60, a subtle shift occurs. The body becomes more prone to tipping into a catabolic state, especially during long periods without food.
And the longest period we go without food is overnight.
Exactly. For 7, 8, maybe 9 hours, you're fasting. For a younger body, this is typically not a problem. But for a body over 60, this extended fast can sound an alarm. If there's no incoming fuel, the body says, emergency. I need energy to keep the heart beating, the lungs breathing, and the brain functioning. So it turns to its own reserves. It starts the demolition process, catabolism. It begins to break down your muscle tissue to convert it into the glucose it needs for fuel. We have more technical terms for this: muscle protein synthesis, or MPS, which is the building up, and muscle protein breakdown, or MPB, which is the breaking down. After 60, if you go to bed on an empty tank, the rate of MPB can exceed the rate of MPS. Night after night, you're losing just a tiny bit of muscle. It's imperceptible at first, but over months and years, this nightly theft adds up to significant weakness, frailty, and a loss of balance.
That's terrifying because it's happening completely under the radar. People think they're doing everything right, eating healthy meals, maybe going for a walk, but they're losing this battle while they sleep.
It's the perfect scenario for a thief, isn't it? I had a patient, let's call him Arthur, a wonderful 74-year-old retired history teacher. He was proud of his routine. He walked 2 miles every morning, ate a salad for lunch, a sensible dinner. But he came to me because, in his words, "My body is betraying me." He loved gardening, but he found it harder and harder to get up from a kneeling position. He felt a deep sense of weakness in his legs that his daily walks didn't seem to be fixing. Arthur was doing everything right from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. But from 7 p.m. to 8 a.m., the thief was at work. He ate his dinner early, around 6 p.m., and then nothing until breakfast the next day. That was a 13-hour fasting window. For his body, that was 13 hours of his muscles being on the menu. He was inadvertently feeding his body his own strength.
The story of Arthur is probably the story of millions of people. It's a huge missing piece of the puzzle. So if this thief operates in the dark, how do we fight back? What's the first step to locking the door?
The first step is not about food, surprisingly. It's about communication. Before you can give your body the tools to repair, you have to tell it that it's safe to do so. You need to switch it out of a state of stress and into a state of repair. This is where the first part of our nightly ritual comes in. Gentle, conscious movement.
So we're not talking about a full-blown workout before bed.
Absolutely not. The goal is the opposite of a workout. You're not trying to sweat. You're trying to soften. You're not trying to build tension. You're trying to release it. For about 5 to 10 minutes before you get into bed, you perform a short series of light, mindful stretches. This isn't about becoming a yoga master. It's about sending a powerful signal to your nervous system. You see, throughout the day, most of us are running on our sympathetic nervous system. This is our fight or flight mode. It's driven by stress, deadlines, traffic, even just the constant stimulation of modern life. In this state, the body is on high alert. Blood is directed away from restorative functions and towards survival functions. You cannot effectively repair muscle in fight or flight. You need to activate its counterpart, the parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest mode.
And the gentle stretching is the physical switch to flip from one system to the other?
Precisely. It's a physiological power-down sequence. I often recommend my patients, including Arthur, to start with the hips. While standing or sitting, just make a few slow, gentle circles with your hips in each direction. Feel the release in your lower back, then the spine. A very slow, gentle forward fold, letting your head hang heavy. Don't force it, just breathe into it. Finally, the shoulders. Slow, deliberate rolls backward, opening the chest, and then forward. Each movement should be synchronized with your breath. A long, slow exhale as you move into the stretch. This simple act does a few incredible things. First, it activates the parasympathetic system. Second, it encourages the release of a molecule called nitric oxide.
I've heard of nitric oxide before. Isn't it important for heart health?
Crucially important. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator, which is a fancy way of saying it helps relax and widen your blood vessels. Think of your blood vessels as the highways that deliver nutrients and oxygen to your muscles. During the day, stress can make these highways narrow like a traffic jam. The gentle stretching and slow breathing helps open them up again. It's like clearing all the traffic right before the nightly delivery of construction materials is scheduled to arrive. You are literally preparing the body to receive nourishment. You are unlocking the door.
So step 1 is a 5-minute ritual of gentle movement to tell the body, the day is over, It's safe to relax. Open the pathways for repair. That's a beautiful concept, but it also leads to the next logical question. We've unlocked the door and cleared the roads. What are we delivering? This brings us to the food part and to the big myth many of us believe. I was always told, don't eat before bed, it'll turn to fat.
That is one of the most pervasive and damaging myths for older adults, Sarah. And it comes from a misunderstanding. The advice to avoid eating before bed is aimed at people who are eating a large, heavy, difficult to digest meal. A slice of pizza, a bowl of ice cream, a bag of chips. A meal like that is a burden on your system. It spikes your blood sugar and insulin, disrupts your sleep architecture, and yes, can contribute to weight gain. But we are not talking about that. We are talking about a strategic, supportive, micro meal. Think of it not as eating, but as providing your body with the specific raw materials it needs for its overnight construction project. Remember, your body is in a catabolic state. It's hungry for protein. If you don't provide it, it will cannibalize its own muscle. So we provide it?
A micro meal. I like that term. It sounds intentional and targeted. So what does this smart, body-supporting micro meal look like?
The key principles are warm, easily digestible, and protein-rich. We want to soothe the system, not shock it. One of the best examples, which we learned from the long-living populations in Japan, is a small cup of warm miso soup with a few cubes of soft tofu. It's brilliant. The warmth is calming. The fermented miso supports your gut health, which is intricately linked to your sleep quality through the gut-brain axis. And the soft tofu provides high-quality, easily absorbed protein. Another excellent option is a soft-boiled or poached egg. An egg is a powerhouse of nutrition. Critically, it's rich in an amino acid called leucine. Leucine is like the foreman on the construction site. It's the primary trigger that flips the switch from muscle protein breakdown to muscle protein synthesis. It's the signal that tells the body, stop demolishing. The materials have arrived. Start building. A small piece of simmered white fish, like cod, is another wonderful choice. Again, it's soft, warm, and gentle on the digestive system. The key is to avoid anything fried, heavy, or overly processed.
This is a complete reframing of the bedtime snack. It's not about indulgence, it's about strategy. You mentioned the Japanese influence. There's a certain wisdom there that feels very holistic.
It is profoundly holistic. They don't just see food as calories, they see it as information. This nighttime micromeal is a message. It says to the body, you are not in a state of famine. You do not need to panic and break down your precious muscle. Resources are here. You can rest, repair, and rebuild. To enhance this message, you can add a pinch of toasted sesame seeds to your soup or fish. Sesame seeds are a good source of magnesium, a mineral that is essential for muscle relaxation and calming the nervous system. It acts as a natural calcium channel blocker, helping your muscle fibers to release and let go of tension. So now you're layering the benefits: protein for building, warmth for soothing, and minerals for relaxing. It's a full circle approach.
It's that construction site metaphor you mentioned. The gentle stretching is like turning on the lights and clearing the work area. The protein and leucine are the bricks and mortar. And the warmth and magnesium are like the project manager ensuring everything runs smoothly and quietly without disturbance.
That's the perfect way to visualize it, Sarah. Exactly. You are providing everything the crew, your cells, needs to do its job effectively overnight. And when you do this consistently, the results are profound. This is exactly what I advised my patient Arthur.
I was just about to ask about him. So, what happened when Arthur, the retired teacher who was feeling betrayed by his body, started this two-step ritual?
He was skeptical at first, especially about the eating before bed part, but he trusted the process. Every night, about an hour before sleep, he would spend 5 minutes doing the gentle hip circles, spine folds, and shoulder rolls. He said that alone made him feel less tense. Then he would have a small bowl of miso soup with tofu, or sometimes a soft-boiled egg. He called it his nightly repair kit. The first thing he noticed within a week was the quality of his sleep. He felt he was sleeping more deeply. Then he started noticing that the morning stiffness in his joints was less pronounced, but the real moment of truth came about 2 months later. His daughter came to visit with his 5-year-old grandson. They were playing on the floor, and without thinking, his grandson jumped on his back for a piggyback ride. Arthur's first instinct was fear, but then he just stood up. With his grandson on his back, he said he hadn't been able to do that in years. He came into my office with tears in his eyes. He said, "The thief is gone. I got my strength back."
Dr. Morgan, that story gives me goosebumps. It's so much more than just muscle mass. It's about quality of life. It's about those moments, playing with a grandchild, feeling confident in your own body. That's what you're giving back to people with this advice.
That is the entire goal. We must stop thinking that aging automatically means decline. It doesn't. It means we have to start working with our bodies, not against them. It means listening more closely and providing what's needed. This simple 2-step ritual of gentle movement, followed by a smart micromeal, is one of the most powerful ways to do that. It's a declaration that you will not let your strength be stolen in the night. It is an investment you make each evening for a stronger, more vibrant tomorrow.
This has been absolutely eye-opening. Let me try to summarize the key takeaways for everyone watching. First, after age 60, our bodies are more susceptible to breaking down muscle for energy while we sleep, a silent process that robs us of our strength over time. Second, we can fight back with a simple, 2-part nightly ritual. Part 1 is locking the door. 5 to 10 minutes of gentle, mindful stretching to calm the nervous system and prepare the body for repair. Third, Part 2 is providing the materials. About an hour before bed, consuming a warm, easy-to-digest, protein-rich micromeal, like a cup of miso soup, a soft-boiled egg, or a bit of simmered fish, to give your muscles the fuel they need to rebuild, not break down. And finally, consistency is everything. This isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong practice. A small intentional act of self-care done every night has the power to protect your strength and change the way you age. Dr. Morgan, thank you. This information is truly life-changing.
The pleasure was all mine, Sarah. Remember, your body is always listening. Send it the right messages.
Powerful words to end on. To everyone in our Health Voices community, we hope this conversation empowers you. Aging is a privilege, and strength is a choice we can make every single day. And as we've learned today, every single night. If this conversation resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to Health Voices if you haven't already, and share it with a friend or family member who might benefit from this wisdom. And we would love to hear from you in the comments below. After hearing this, what is one small change you might try in your own bedtime routine? Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.